Okay. Now this guy. This we need to aim retrograde, as we're coming up on the light side. Coming up on the day side of Kerbin. Alright, so let's see. I'm not going to worry too much about landing this near the Space Center, I don't think. I guess maybe I could. Maybe I could be picky, if I so chose. But it is not going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination to deorbit with all this extra weight. So we're going to be looking at a 2-minute, 16-second burn. Wow. I'm going to have to move that just a little bit out. Like that. Actually, probably just want to start it now anyway. Let's just aim retrograde and start at it. It's going to take a while. You're starting to kill me. There are a small number of things that could go terribly wrong with this. So, I am going to try and be paying close attention here. And I have a couple of abort scenarios in mind here. One last sanity check. Kill the lower section. Drogue shoots at the top. Main chute at the top. Separate the capsule. Land separately with the other parachute. Okay. Staging is correct. I don't want this capsule to get crushed under this, so it does need to separate after the main chute is out. Okay, there goes the last of our fuel. So this has all our reaction wheel, everything else, so our battery as well. So I'm going to keep this on until we get closer to actually hitting the atmosphere. So at the very last second we will ditch this service module from the bottom of the capsule, and then we'll start working on re-entry. There's our stray landing gear. Still going on its orbit, undeterred. So it's really concerning me. This is going to want to go center of mass. You know, center of mass is going to be behind the center of aerodynamic resistance, which is bad. It's going to flip over. So I just picture this going very, very badly. Possibly insult to injury and somehow smashing into KSC, because that would be awesome. That was sarcasm. It would not be awesome. Okay, we should see re-entry heating right around 50,000 meters. So I'm going to eject now. And then smash back into it because we're heavier. That's a new development. Okay. That's cool. That's fine. We have no SAS module to try and stabilize us either, so we are stuck with the reentry we have, and hopefully these little fins help us keep stable, although it does seem to want to make us wobble slightly. I am fighting the controls a little bit. Yep, it wants to flip around. It wants to flip around. That is bad. That is bad. Okay, 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 this is exactly what I was afraid of. Okay, okay, okay. Come on. Come on. I'm going into mashing key mode. I am mashing the button for pitch here. Okay, so we need to be able to deploy these drogues quickly. We are going very fast. Okay. I think those fins are finally starting to pay off. Drogues. Okay, now the drogues will hold us steady. Main chute. Alright. Okay, and still while we're a little bit horizontal. Separate. Aerodynamic resistance to pull away. Main chute. Okay. Everything here is going according to plan. We touched down first with this because of the lack of the drogues. Or at least I know this is safe. The madness. The wonderful madness. This is going to be landing awful fast, though. 12 meters a second is a very fast landing. I would never land a Kerman that fast. And that is with full deployment, all the parachutes. Hopefully that heat shield absorbs some impact. Okay, so that lesson learned, that did definitely fight me the whole way through re-entry. Terrifying amount, actually. Oh, we're actually pretty close to the KSC, too. Look at that. Not bad. But, all in all, it did work. Assuming that these parachutes are sufficient to stop this thing. Actually land safely in the water here. Oh my god, you're kidding me. Oh. I think we lost the ore. There's the service module. You gotta be kidding me. That looked so good. So I think the only thing that really lived was the fins. You're just... That is painful. That hurts my soul a little bit. I'll take this one. Yep. So yeah, we definitely did not get that contract. So that is a pain in the butt. Explore Minmus. We also didn't get. Why did we not get this one? Oh, wants to bring a vessel back to Kerbin from the surface of Minmus. Huh. So much for 3 contracts. I got 1 contract out of that. I really goofed that one up. Now my question is... When I did the moon landing, was it also a vessel? Where is it? Explorer. It's Explorer, right? Oh, they're all different. Oh. Oops. So this doesn't say anything about a Kerman. Return to Kerbin from the surface of Minmus. Doesn't say I have to have a Kerman on board. I still got to do this ore deal, so I might as well just make a special vessel for this. That is really annoying. I really thought I had that. Alright, well, I'm going to go to the stations, download all the science that was researched over the last time warping. And that'll be the stream for the night. So we'll start with Deep Space Gateway. I should have a full science bay worth of stuff to start transmitting down. Well, I am very glad I designed that craft to separate from the capsule now. Originally, I was like, why am I doing that? It's unnecessary, but yeah, I would have just killed the Kerman and failed my first contract if I had not done it that way. Alright, 201 science. Pretty darn good. We're going to transmit science down. Probably draining all the electric charge. And we don't even have a lot of fuel at the station. Okay, let's switch over to Valentina Kerman Station, which somehow, no matter when I check on it, seems to be just going into the light side of the moon. We're just probably about to run out of power. Just warp it here till it gets some sun. See if this will finally recharge a decent amount. we can get it into a more ideal facing here. There we go. Yeah, that's definitely getting a lot more power. It's like double what it was getting. Let's see if we can just aim this right at... Okay, that's not getting us as good, actually. We were getting better before somehow? I don't really know how that's possible. Seems like this has a lot more solar surface area. Alright, screw it. We'll try that. Alright. Transmit science, another 217 science. Actually, secondary thought, would the ore have just sunk anyway? That might be a legitimate concern. Okay, another 213 science from this one. Almost done. 85%. And then we'll go spend some science points. Well, first I do need to transmit down from Jebediah Station as well. But that won't have as much science. There won't be much left on there. It's not really a science station anymore, it's just a gateway. Orbital gateway. Still 128 though, that's more than I expected. Alright. Space Center. Now, I could be loading up the labs again, but because I do have more experiments on the other two stations. But I'll do that tomorrow. I just want to spend science points. Hey, baby. Hey, boy. What are you doing? Yeah, 1,080 science. At least that part of today was good. Could you not rip my furniture apart, Rigby? Thank you. Let's see. So, 1,000 science is a lot of science. I did need the new wheels, which is here for field science. This neat little command seat. So, yep, we are going to take that. I probably need the bigger wheels, actually, if I'm going to do the Minmus base. But that's a lot. 550 is a lot to spend on that. Specialized control, I'm still not totally convinced I need that at all. Cheap cores are tempting. We are starting to have power issues, so I think probably for the base I'm going to want these huge solar arrays. I might as well officially pick up nuclear propulsion too. Yeah, let's do this one. Don't need a fuel cell array. Nuclear core is kind of neat, but not necessary. I could do the larger diameter instead of nukes for now, since I do still have the option to use nukes. Yeah, I'm going to do that. We're just going to pick that up. And we'll have our top tier tanks next. Actually not doing so bad at getting through this tech tree. Like I said, I just have ignored space planes a lot. But otherwise not so bad. Of course, this now gives me even more vehicle options. Especially launch vehicles, since we now have these ridiculous sized tanks, which I don't even think we really have much for. Well, I guess we do have one engine system for. I think what I would probably do is Saturn 1 style. Cluster tank the crap out of it. For no other reason except to look cool. But yeah, any launcher with that's going to be expensive as can be. And that's when we start hitting multi-engine setups. I do want to just investigate real quick. What options I have to replace my Centurion engine. Because those are not very cost effective anymore compared to their competition. I think even this one might be completely replaced by an upgraded Optio to have 4 boosters. Namely, I'm looking at the engines for this because I think realistically, so at sea level, 205 plus another 216. So, yeah, that's 421. So yeah, it is going to be like 50 more thrust than a Bobcat at sea level. So, I mean, this is better than a Bobcat in terms of thrust. And cost-wise, it's not a whole lot more. It's a little more, but it's about on par. The real nail in the coffin for these is the fact that they don't have as good efficiency at sea level, or actually in vacuum. So this would be more efficient, and it would be lighter. And that, well, now the Kodiak does have higher thrust for the same cost now. And a much higher efficiency. Closer to the Bobcat. They actually made the Kodiak a decent engine. It's not a little worse off in vacuum than the Reliant. Yeah, this might be getting an upgrade here. I will investigate the merits of switching that over. Because a Bobcat, I think, just is not going to be able to really even get this off the ground. I think even this is not going to get it off the ground without any boosters. Meanwhile, I think if I put a upgraded Optio Heavy out there, Now something like this, right, might actually manage to do 12 tons. And then at this point, this actually has the ability to lift itself on its own, its core stage. So you'll be looking at a crazy high thruster weight ratio at first, and then still good afterwards, but a very short second stage. So something like that might be worth doing. Now, the other thing I was thinking about that I could maybe do is completely change up the Centurion. And I'm going to run some numbers and see how absurd this idea is. But if I take a Mastodon at its mid setting, which of course gives us a massive thrust to weight ratio, what I was thinking I could do, potentially, drop tanks. Single engine. But with drop tanks. I just need to see what the cost would be, if it's even worth looking into the numbers. I mean, it would have a lot of delta V. Let's check what it looks like with the 15-ton payload. That's an 18-ton. It's a 10-ton, 9-ton. I don't have anything that's at 15 tons. Try that. So, I mean, still sufficient to get to orbit. That's a bad example. Put 5 of these down, just so I don't mess with the fuel quantity. Okay, that would be 15 tons. Let's reduce it down to make it a 12-ton payload. Still not great. We would need to look at maybe doing 4 drop tanks for 12. Yeah, I mean, thrust to weight ratio. Yeah, I cannot talk. Thrust to weight ratio would not actually be that insane. Not as insane as I thought it would be. And the cost. Let's look at the cost. So we're just saying theoretically that this would be what would be necessary to do, say, a 12-ton payload. I'm not necessarily looking for it to be an all-star. I'm just looking to see if it beats what we currently are doing. No, very no. This might make sense for the heavier ones, though. This might make sense for, let's see, an 18-ton payload. No, not really. Yeah, I mean, it would be pretty consistently bad. Unless we were getting a significant payload capacity increase. Like, if I could get away with using, like, 2 drop tanks for 12, or, like, 4 for 18 would maybe be decent. Yeah, it wouldn't be any better than where we're at. Still, for 4 drop tanks to 18 tons. So the cost of the engine is what really would be messing us up, I think. As kind of cool as this would look, I don't really think it's practical at all. Unless we had a somewhat cheaper engine, but you know, we just don't. That's a pretty good priced engine for that. I mean, we could put a skipper on, but then we're back to we're not going to have enough thrust to get off the ground. We do have the twin bore, which we never use. It's got one of these worth of fuel. It's almost 6,000 of the cost is fuel. 11,000. Slightly less efficient than the Mastodon. It's got less vectoring range. Significantly more thrust, though. But I don't need more thrust. I need more efficiency. And more cost effectiveness. This thing's absurdly expensive. Oh, but it is totally a vacuum engine. This might top my options for transfer vehicle. Anyway, I've dicked around in the vehicle assembly building long enough for one go, I think. I don't think drop tank launcher is going to become a thing. Outside of sandbox mode, maybe, because that might be a fun design for sandbox mode, but it is not going to be a cost-effective design for us here. We'll be just sticking probably to the Decurion 2 here. Traditional booster. Still got to test this out. And like I said, probably going ahead and there we go. Probably going ahead and upgrading an Optio to be a 4 booster variant and get rid of this Centurion at the 12 ton. So we'll only have the 15 and 18 ton gap to try and fill. Because right now, I mean, the price cap just doesn't make sense, really. You know, a 24 ton launcher for 30,000 credits. Or an 18 ton for 27. I mean, I guess it kind of still has a place. Kind of. Alright. I think that is going to do it for tonight. If you did stick around through all this, thank you. Don't know why you did, but that being said, for everyone who watched tonight, thank you for watching. If you want to see our previous streams, you can always catch them over on YouTube, down at the link at the bottom, youtube.com/JediCalledYouPro. And if you want to catch our next stuff, we stream pretty much every night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I've been saying that it ends at 9 p.m., although that obviously is rarely the case nowadays. I keep running it late.